thank you so much, Judy, Steve, and Mike, for sharing your very personal stories with us. My name is Diane Bosey, and I am a member of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Oak Park. I, too, have experienced firsthand the damage guns can cause. When I was 3 years old, I was playing at a neighbor's house. The boy who lived there, also 3, found his father's gun and snuck up on me thinking he was holding a water gun. Holding the gun behind my left ear, he pulled the trigger and the bullet exited under my right eye. A man who had recently returned from Vietnam, where he served as a medic, was staying across the street. He saved my life. I survived, and I don't take that for granted. But my childhood was one of monthly doctor's appointments and surgeries. I've spent a lifetime dealing with the physical, financial, and emotional trauma of this accident, as has my family. No matter whose hands guns end up in, whether a 3-year-old or someone out to do harm, the consequences can be enormous for everyone affected. I imagine there are others in this room who've been impacted by guns. If you or someone you know or care about has been harmed or killed by a gun, please raise your hand. Thank you. We know this issue impacts many people in our region, no matter where you live. We know because we hear and we feel it every single day. This isn't just a problem. This is a crisis. This demands creative and effective solutions. And before we discuss what United Power is proposing, I need to make a few things clear. We recognize that there are responsible gun owners. We're not trying to abolish the Second Amendment. We recognize that the causes of gun violence are complex. This isn't going to get solved quickly. What we propose today is only a first step. Finally, we know and understand that the politics of this issue are daunting. However, we're not interested in symbolism or posturing. We want to work on real strategies that are practical and meaningful. We want solutions. And we very much believe that we can make a difference, and we begin making a difference through legislation and leverage. So let's start with legislation. There are many pieces of legislation around guns being proposed. However, in your packet is a list of 4 pieces of legislation that are active right now that we feel are meaningful and politically feasible, if we're willing to work. There are 2 federal Senate bills. The first is an illegal trafficking of firearms bill, co-sponsored by both of our Illinois senators. Yes. The second bill has to do with background checks, and there are 2 state bills listed that have a similar objective to the federal bills. The first one is sponsored by Senator Katowski and Representative Cassidy. So why these bills? Why are these important? They're important because they directly affect gun purchases by those who would not otherwise be able to legally purchase a firearm. We're talking about criminals, felons, and people with very severe mental illness. And we know that 40% of U.S. gun sales are conducted by unlicensed private sellers. These are people who sell guns at gun shows and on the internet. Nearly 6.6 million guns are transferred every year through this channel. 80% of inmates surveyed who used guns in their crimes acquired them in this way. We also know there's a 48% reduction in gun trafficking in the 12 states that require background checks on all handgun sales versus those that do not. So the bottom line is, dangerous people buy guns by avoiding licensed dealers. This legislation can make a difference, and in just a few minutes, we'll discuss how we together can push this agenda. But I have to know, are you ready to work on this?